The Nintendo Switch 2 is out now, so in this video I'm going to be teaching you how to transfer over your Animal Crossing New Horizons island to the new console. There are several ways that you can do this safely so that all of your data is preserved and your island can make it over to the beautiful Switch 2. So simply follow these instructions and we will easily get your island over to its new destination. Leave a like on the video if you're ready to learn how, and let's jump into this. Now, the first method and the main method is to transfer over all of your original Nintendo Switch data to the Switch 2. And how you're going to do this is you are going to go to the settings menu, scroll all the way down to the system settings, and then right at the bottom you will get the system transfer to Nintendo Switch 2 menu. Hit next, and from there you can just keep on hitting next until your Nintendo Switch 2 is ready. Once you've done the basic setup for the new console, you'll be able to bring it close to your original Nintendo Switch and then do a local transfer. It is incredibly easy to do so, you just have to follow all the steps, and as you can see, it will safely bring over your data for Animal Crossing New Horizons. That also includes all of the data for all of your other games on the Nintendo Switch, your profiles, settings, and many other things too. You can even transfer over your photos and videos if you got lots of those. It's kind of like when you get a new phone and you put them close together and you can just instantly bring everything over. Nintendo has done the same thing here, and it is an incredibly convenient way of bringing everything over without too much hassle. From there, you just have to let the consoles work their magic and all of your data will be brought over to the new Nintendo Switch 2. However, what happens to your Animal Crossing island on your original Nintendo Switch after you've done this? Do you now have two islands in existence? So as I mentioned, something will happen to your Animal Crossing island on your original Switch, and that is that it will be erased. You will not be able to play your original island on your original Nintendo Switch anymore. It'll disappear, as it can only be on one console at a time. Once you've sent it over to your Nintendo Switch 2, that is where it will live from that point onwards. You can't have two islands. Nintendo didn't want people basically cloning their islands like that, so that is exactly what happens. But don't worry, like I've said, it will be completely safe on the Switch 2. You don't have to worry about the original Switch anymore, and you can just make a new island over there if you'd like to. This is a cool way of getting a second island if that's something you want to do. Perhaps you've got some challenges you want to partake in that you haven't been able to before, and that's exactly how you can do it now that you've got your new console, which is so easy and convenient. Now, what if you're someone who is planning on selling your original Nintendo Switch so you can buy a Switch 2, or you just plan on getting rid of it for whatever reason whilst you wait for the new console? Well, it's simple, and Nintendo has thought about this, thankfully. All you have to do is go to that same menu where you do a system transfer over to Nintendo Switch 2. However, this time, instead of doing the direct transfer, what we're effectively going to be doing is uploading all of your data to Nintendo's cloud, where it will be stored. You have to click on the option "I don't have a Nintendo Switch 2 yet," and it'll bring you up a slightly different menu, where you can transfer all of the data over to Nintendo's servers. From there, I believe Nintendo will hold it for up to a year, so you will have a year to bring that data over to your new Nintendo Switch 2. So definitely make sure you do get your new console within that time frame, or who knows what will happen to your data, it could potentially be gone forever. Of course, you will also have to make sure that the relevant Nintendo account is linked to your Switch 2, so you're using the same thing and the data doesn't get all mixed up. Definitely just have one Nintendo account, and that'll keep your data nice and safe. There are also some other methods technically that you can use. For example, there is the Island Transfer tool, which is actually an app on your Nintendo Switch that was specifically designed for Animal Crossing New Horizons, which allows people to transfer over their islands from one Switch to another. Now, originally, this was just designed for the original Nintendo Switch, in case you got a new one, but you wanted to keep all of your save data. Well, now what you can do is it'll actually work with Nintendo Switch 2. So you just have to go through all of the different steps in here and you'll be able to send your island over to the new console. Once again, it's a fairly easy process. You just have to make sure you follow all of the steps that are on screen from Nintendo, and honestly, it shouldn't be too complicated at all. They make things fairly easy. I believe this should also work in the case of whether you get another Switch 2 in the future and you want to transfer over your island to another Switch 2, maybe when an Animal Crossing edition finally releases. That should be an option too with this island transfer tool. Something else I want to note, which is really important, is the island backup tool. Now, you do need to be a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber to use this, but once you have activated it under the settings menus, your island will regularly undertake backups. Tom Nook will let you know about this, and effectively, your island will be saved to Nintendo servers in the case of something bad happening to your Nintendo Switch. This is in the instance of, say, your Switch gets stolen or lost somewhere. You will actually be able to contact Nintendo and they will let you know about restoring your save data to whatever new console you've gotten your hands on at that point. So I do think it's really important that if you are a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber, you make sure you have island backups turned on. A lot of people don't realize this is a feature and have totally forgotten about it, but with all of this stuff going on with transferring our islands over, even though it is completely safe and of course Nintendo has taken the precautions to make sure it all works correctly, I still think it's a great idea to have your island backed up. You never know what could happen, and it would be such a shame to lose literally years and years of progress of your island, 5 years for some of us now. So definitely go talk to Tom Nook under the New Horizons settings menu and make sure that your island is backed up. That is definitely something that you will not regret. I do want to say I totally understand it can be scary to send your island over to a new console. After all, none of us want things to go wrong and for us to lose all of our hard-earned progress after all of these years. Like I said, some of us have been playing for 5 years at this point. But don't worry, I've done the transfer myself. I know so many other people who have done the transfer, and it went completely smoothly. My island was sent over to the Nintendo Switch 2 without any issues, and I'm now playing it on the new console. There's been no problems whatsoever. I think as long as you follow all of the steps carefully and do all of the correct instructions, it'll be completely fine. Nintendo makes the process really easy and streamlined. There's nothing too complicated about it, which is definitely very good. You could of course just choose to not transfer your save data and start over fresh with Animal Crossing New Horizons on the Switch 2. You won't have to rebuy the game, you can just re-download it from the Nintendo eShop as long as your account is synced up, so that could also be an option. So yeah, those are all of the ways you can safely transfer over your Animal Crossing New Horizons island to the Nintendo Switch 2. I really hoped you enjoyed this little video and tutorial. If you did, definitely leave a like and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Will you be transferring your island over to the new console? If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang so I know you did. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more videos.